Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games. Today we have another Switch 2 rumor, but this is one that I think we can look at with near certainty that it is real because of some pretty damning evidence from Nintendo itself, but we have some new images of the Switch 2 Joy-Con that further confirm what Next Handheld had and what he was saying about the Joy-Con being black and orange and black and blue. We have an actual photo of that now. It's so frustrating to me. All these leakers, they keep taking weird photos. They won't just show the front of it, and when I first saw this morning, I was like, oh, well, that's clearly real, but I wasn't going to make a video on it, but a couple other things have come to light about it that I do think is very worth talking about, specifically in regards to what the Switch 2's actual gimmick might be. I mean, I think a lot of people have just been kind of, accepting that the Switch 2 will be a standard upgrade versus the Switch, but it looks like the Joy-Con here are actually hiding a potentially massive secret depending on how developers utilize it and how Nintendo itself utilizes this these new features. But here are the images. These are posted on a Chinese forum, and I mean, it lines up with exactly with what we've seen, basically, right? It's black Joy-Con with like a blue interior here. If you remember back in December, Next Handheld was saying that the Joy-Con were going to be this kind of two-tone design where the actual controller itself, the part that you really look at, is just black, but then the part that attaches to the Switch is going to be orange. And you can really see that here with this side view of the new Joy-Con. You can see how much bigger these SL and SR buttons are. We'll have a comparison picture in just a bit, but I mean, they're significantly bigger. You can see this big button back here that I think is for the release of the Joy-Con, right? To release the magnets, but I'm actually not so sure, as we'll get into. But yeah, this is it. This is the color design, and as you might notice here, there's a serial number that's very important because actually this thing is verified by Nintendo itself. So a user over on Reddit noticed this, but basically, if you go to Nintendo of America's webpage and you put in that serial number, it actually accepts it. Now, my first thought process was, oh, well, maybe, let's say this is fake. Like, let's say this is some elaborate hoax, right? Maybe they just copied the serial number from like a Switch 1 Joy-Con, but that's actually not true because Switch 1 Joy-Con serial numbers start with a different 3-letter combo here, but the Switch 2 starts with HBW. And as you can see here on Nintendo of America's website, when you put it in for warranty, it actually like accepts it. It doesn't give you an error. It says they're unable to determine the warranty status of the product, but here's for comparison. If you just put in like a wrong number, like they just changed a couple numbers here, it says invalid. So this is a leaked image of a Joy-Con that has a serial number on it that is being accepted on Nintendo's website. When I first saw this leak, I was like, well, maybe Next Handheld and this person, like maybe these are not going to be the final colors. Black, I think, makes sense for this, but maybe this isn't going to be the final colors. Maybe this is like dev kit Joy-Con or some sort of prototype Joy-Con. Maybe this won't be the final product, and I guess that could still be true, but the fact that this warranty number is popping up on the website tells me that this is like the final retail Switch Joy-Con, right? The Switch 2 Joy-Con. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking at. That's about it. Now there is another image here of the back of it. Just kind of, once again, like really affirming that this is real in my mind because it has all like different little logos here. I don't even know what all these little things are. These are on the back of like everything. Of course, on the back of the current Joy-Con, as well as the Nintendo logo here. But yeah, this is the design and the colorway of the new Joy-Con. When you have them connected to the Switch, which once again, this does line up perfectly with what Next Handheld had leaked a few weeks back. You're not going to see the colors, so it is a little boring. But also, it feels like Nintendo clearly saved the black design for the Joy-Con on purpose because we actually never ended up getting black Joy-Con. We had gray Joy-Con, but they never did black Joy-Con, so I feel like that was because they were saving it for this moment. And then they still have a bit of that Switch identity with the neons on the inside, and then, when you're playing it in, when you're playing local co-op or something, now when you're holding them sideways, whoever unfortunately gets stuck with the actual Joy-Con, you'll be able to tell which one is different just based on this little bar here, which is kind of nice. Because like I look at like my OLED Joy-Con, which are white, and like the little bar here, it's the same color, right? They're the same. There's nothing differentiating them. This way, out of the box, you have two different colors to really denote that it's two different players. But yeah, it's nice to have like a pretty finalized look. I wish they showed the front of it. You can kind of see on this first picture the buttons here. No colored buttons. Maybe the font on them is colored, but colored button theory officially dead. So there's that. But it's nice to get an idea of the color scheme. Unfortunately, I just wish they had both Joy-Con. I wish we had seen the back of the actual console unit itself. I'm sure this person has it in this weird tiled, what is this, a bathroom? I don't even know. However, the fact that it actually is on Nintendo's website, that's what really made me want to hop on here and talk about it because, I mean, it's what I was saying in yesterday's video. With all of the leaks we've had, I just feel like this reveal has to be soon. Not because they need to get ahead of it. They've already missed the boat on that. Maybe they really just don't care, but we're talking about final retail units being out in the wild. You would want to imagine that they would announce it sooner than later. It's being announced by March 31st. We only have, 12 weeks of opportunity left. So we have a 1 in 12 chance it's next week, and then a 1 in 3 chance that it's in January to begin with. It feels like it has to be soon, but given how much is leaked already, I mean, maybe we're going to go a couple more weeks, maybe even a month or so before we actually see this console officially announced. But yeah, this warranty thing is absolutely crazy. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about today is a potentially new feature on these Joy-Con. So going back to the image here. So I believe there was some leaker at some point in the past couple of months who said that there was like a surprise on the Joy-Con we didn't know about yet, something involving lasers. And based on this image, I mean, this is our clearest look at the railing of these new Joy-Con so far, or the inner side of it, right? I guess it's not a rail anymore, but the magnet side. It looks like it has some sort of optical sensor. This user on Reddit posted this out, or pointed this out. I'll have this link down below. It kind of looks like a wireless computer mouse. And it even has like this little glide pad thing here. So the idea is, and Necrolipe posted a little just video kind of demonstrating what this might look like. What if you can use this thing like a mouse? You know, they have that huge new button on the back now, right? That's much bigger than what we had on the Switch in terms of like a release button. So maybe that's not necessarily for releasing the Joy-Con from the unit itself anymore. Maybe that's just an extra button for when you're playing in this weird mouse state. This is what I'm looking for from Nintendo, man. I know a lot of people don't enjoy this this side of Nintendo, but I love when they do weird out there stuff. And my head is already flooding with ideas for like, okay, what can Nintendo EPD4 do with a game that is like this? I mean, the immediate jump you can make is, oh, Mario Paint, which of course used the SNES mouse. But if this is like a real feature of the Joy-Con that they want to push, like what will they do with that and their more experimental titles? Maybe we'll see the return of Art Academy. This is going to be weird though, because like how accurate is this going to be? Assuming this is what it is. Like, how accurate will this be if you're just sitting on your couch and doing it on your lap or, like, the arm of your chair? How comfortable is that going to be? Most people don't play their Switch at their desk. So, I'm very, very intrigued by this and what it can mean for what these Joy-Con can actually do. I'm just happy that it likely indicates that there will be some weird gimmicky stuff, at least in some games. And I wonder how much of that we'll see on day one. I mean, looking back to the Switch in 2017... we didn't even know it had an IR camera, I think until it was like at the January presentation, right? And then, yeah, 1-2 Switch used it, but it wasn't until Labo got announced a year and some change later that we were like, oh, that's what the IR camera is for. They put the IR camera there mostly for Labo. Does Nintendo have some sort of crazy killer app for this? Maybe this is something that, you know, maybe that Switch Online beta test, maybe it could be tied into that, some sort of social hub thing. Maybe we'll get the return of PictoChat. I don't know. It's really weird. If this is actually going to be used in this way, like a proper mouse, I do think this is a game I really was not expecting to happen, but Mario Maker 3's gotta be happening if this is really one of the core new elements of the Switch 2 hardware itself, right? Because Mario Maker 1, you had the Wii U gamepad, and it was just amazing, man. Like, that is the absolute best way to design levels in a Mario game. Mario Maker 2, huge step back, you know, sitting on your couch using the Pro Controller. Designing levels in that game was just not anywhere near as fun as it was in the first game. Mario Maker 3... now we have this little mouse device. You're sitting on your couch and you just you know, slide your Joy-Con around. This actually, to me, suggests, like, I'm not even joking, like, this helps the chances of Mario Maker 3 being a thing a lot, in my opinion. Maybe we see this in 2026. That's what, 3 years after Mario Wonder, just about. That's pretty reasonable. And then they can go even harder. They can add some more themes that they didn't do in Mario Maker 2, right? There was the infamous extra styles or whatever. They never added to that, so Mario Maker 3 with this mouse would be peak. But it definitely makes me more excited for this console from like a hardware standpoint, just because it's not just an upgrade. There is something more going on here that we don't really know about. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what Nintendo's teams does with that in a more creative way. But also, if it is just going to work as a mouse, I mean, you think of like, okay, Civ 7 is coming to the current Switch. You can imagine a Switch 2 version of that game. That game heavily uses mouse and keyboard, or at least mouse anyway. I think you can play all of Civ with a mouse. So you could play that on there. There's plenty of other RTSs and things like that that would really lend itself to a mouse. I mentioned Art Academy. We haven't seen a new Art Academy in a very long time. Maybe we get a new one of those. And, you could still use the touchscreen, but some people would like to use a little Joy-Con mouse. I don't know. It's definitely weird. And like I said at the top, this is definitely our best look at the Switch 2 Joy-Con yet, so I wanted to hop on here and make a video. I wish we got a better look at it, but I think this is really... this is the ultimate leak of okay, this is official. The fact that the warranty is on their website is absolutely crazy. Here's that comparison shot of the new Joy-Con versus the old. You can see the height difference. I think it's like a half of an inch or so bigger, but you can really see the difference in those SL and SR buttons, as well as the player indicators where they are on the original Joy-Con. It looks like those are going to be on the front of the Joy-Con now. And then, yeah, you have this little laser in the middle. And, yeah, this little glide pad that will maybe be used for sliding this thing around like a mouse. Very strange. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of this Joy-Con leak? I know it's not much, but I wanted to hop on here and talk about it anyway. Do you think it is real? I mean, I'm not sure there's much room for interpretation here. If the warranty is, or the serial number is working on Nintendo's warranty website, this is almost certainly a final retail unit of the Switch 2. And hopefully this is the beginning of a very, very good week for us Nintendo fans. I do think there is a real possibility we see this console in the next couple days. I also think it's possible we just get a Xenoblade X trailer or something. But the leaks have gotten out of control. They were already out of control. We have, I haven't talked about this in a video, but we do have, I believe it's Genki is doing some sort of conference on Switch 2 accessories at CES on the 7th. Is it possible we have this thing announced tomorrow on Monday? I mean, maybe? I don't know. I feel like there'd be more hubbub about it, but it's going to be an interesting week. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch 2 theories, speculation, discussion, all that fun stuff. I posted a couple videos over the past couple days, so definitely check out those. And until next time, folks, peace.